What's up, everybody? Today is November 3rd, Friday. Um, yeah, so this week there's no finding your way. We'll be just doing recaps and any topic that we came up with during the week. Um, Today's topic is breaker blocks and block orders. Um, the way that I interpret block orders are little candles that are pretty much hammers. So they have a body on the top with the wick on the bottom, or the inverse, which is over here, like over here where it says the body on the bottom with the wicks on top. What block orders to me is a bunch of orders. It could be big. I'm guessing the bigger the wick, the bigger the block orders were. Uh, so there's orders in there that will not get filled and that will get filled at a later time, right? So we got these two right here, which is a wick on top and bottom. These are called breaker blocks. Breaker blocks to me are, it can either break up or break down in that area. That's why they're called breaker blocks. Sometimes when you combine them with block orders, kind of like right here, how there's two breaker blocks right here, and then there's block orders over here, right? There's some block orders right there. So to me, when they're combined, to me would tell me on this instance that in this instance right here, it would break up, and it break up not on this move right here, but later on. It could have been right here where it popped up, but it ended up popping up way over here. So as it came down, I've seen lower highs. I've seen a short setup, right? And it's in the downtrend, right? So it can be a falling wedge breakout. Well, what creates that falling wedge breakout? These candles right here, these two little candles combined with this other order blocks over here, uh, created this pop because price action came into that area and started popping that. And you'll start to see that. You'll start to see this might help you with candle development, right? Because as you see these wicks, you're gonna know if this price action has enough strength to either pop up or break down even further. And the way that I see them is it'll take it in chunks, right? Because right here, since there's a lot of selling pressure right here, to me, a lot of sellers put orders right here. And guess what? Look, resistance 666. So there's a lot of orders right there, a lot of sellers. So what happened here was sellers got in, some didn't get filled. But as you can see, it pops up again, right? It pops up a little bit higher. So the next block orders got filled. So then it filled all the way to right there. If if price action cannot get over this wick, because that's the highest wick, right? Then it most likely it's gonna go the opposite direction, in the direction of the block order, right here. It almost made it right here, almost by a tick. It didn't fill, and it was weak. As you see it, these block orders are getting filled, right? So they got filled, and then it caused this jolt down because there was large sell block orders in this area that were stronger than these fire candles going up. So there must have been a big hedge fund, a market maker with a big block order to control price down. And where candle development comes into play is a lot of retail traders will put a stop one tick, two ticks above right here, right? Because they entered, let's say they entered right here, and market makers or whoever is taking profit up here. So they had hit the 666. They took profit. They caused this. They caused this dump right here, right? But there was people in here that were that were short players like Easy, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna put a fishing order out right here, and sometimes you get filled, sometimes you don't. Over here, must have filled the orders. If this candle, and you'll see it when you start to use this kind of strategy, you'll see it, and I'll explain it a little better over here. Uh, it has a perfect example down here. See how this candle right here, it matched up. It didn't it didn't go over. So that's gonna tell you that the sellers are stronger. Especially you got to think the 200 just barely crossed. Right here, you can tell you tell by the steepness of it that it barely crossed. Right, usually you're that's strong sell side, right? Because the 200 is under the 666. If the 200 was on top of the 666, it might have been a different story. And this is where combining strategies can kind of help you predict or forecast price action before it even gets there. So when none of this is here, you see this wick, you identify it, so then that's your price level. It's 6662. But what the thing is going to tell you that if it's going to squeeze is it has to make it at least one or two ticks above right here. And the candle has to close a little bit higher. It has to close kind of like a full body, right? Even if it doesn't, if it wicks down like this, if it wicks down like that and this one comes up and fills it and it's only one tick above, then you know that it might squeeze. But it didn't. It made it almost right to it and then it fell through. So there's a lot of sellers right there and it caused this jolt down. And then once it hits the 666, you take it down in sequence. So the 666 tags, where's it gonna go now? The 200, right? Because we're in a down pattern. After it hits the 200, right here it smashed through the 200. It held it and then it smashed through. It's gonna hit the 100, which is that orange line right here, the solid orange EMA, and then it caused a pop, just like over here. These see these wicks that had orders right there that didn't get filled, that caused this pop. And even right here, because they know that the 50 SMA is going to cause a pop. So it caused this. So this is a weak, saying weak, right? Because that's a seller block or a block order. And this candle right here, the highest candle, couldn't break above it and hold, saying that the sellers are strong. You can see TTM right here, sellers getting out of the way. Lower highs on RSI, lower highs on MACD. Look at, there's really no oscillation either. So those are other signs, not just price action reading. If you're just a price action trader, then you just use a price action that if it doesn't go above this line and hold right there, or even just go one tick above. So now let me explain the inverse, right? We have a bunch of orders right here, a bunch of buy orders right here that didn't get filled, and they wanted to catch this move all the way to the 666. So they're just sitting there, sitting there. Well, this one right here came down one tick below, and it took out all these, took out the sellers if they were short right here, or they were taking profit, right? They were taking profit because they were coming down from somewhere over here. They were taking profit and they didn't get filled, but they just held on, and then they got filled down here, and there was buyers right here. There was buyers right here that didn't get filled. That caused this. As soon as it goes one down, one tick below that mark, it's gonna cause a pop. Now, since price action is below all moving averages, I mean, you know the first stop is the 50 SMA right there. That would be your first target if you get in right here. That's a little bit iffy because you don't know if it's going to continue going down. I would recommend getting in right here. But you have a couple things on your side that are bullish, even though it's kind of counter trend trading right here. Remember, one of the rules that I always talk about when you're counter trend, if you want to catch, if you're scalping the counter trend bounce, it's 4 to 6 points max. So if you would have got in right there, which is about 27, that's only 1 point because this was after hours. Yeah, this was at 3 o'clock in the morning. So the candles look bigger, but the range of the candles, even though they look huge, it's only 2 points. From 26, 27 to 28. That wouldn't have been worth it to get in. But this is just an example of what can happen during open, and you'll see it. But what you want to see is the candle come up close, slow down, hit it, and just keep popping up and down, up and down, up and down right there. And you'll see it. It's kind of like watching the orders get filled. So it goes half the wick. You'll see this candle pop up, right? And there's, okay, that's buyers. Those are buy orders. But if you see the candle popping down further and then coming up, then you know that sellers taking profit. But if it's slowly coming down on this side, slowly like popping up, popping one tick down, one tick up, one tick down, one tick up, or one tick down, one tick up, 2 ticks down, 1 tick up. That's sellers or buyers getting filled. And then there must have been a big buy order right here at the bottom that didn't get filled. And this is a daily level right here. So some buyer that didn't get filled over there, that must have been a large order, got clicked right there and boom, sent it up. So that's the explanation of a block and a sell order. I know Lasagna Cat's been kind of
Yeah, I've been looking at this stuff. It's new to me, but I put it in action in a trade I took yesterday, and it was a situation where like there was a lot of. I could just show you the screenshot if you want.
Yeah, go for it, share, and let's walk through the trade.
All
Perfect
right, yeah,
example.
absolutely. I'll share a screen. I'll give you like my reasoning for doing what I did, and we'll see if I understood the concept. The trade worked out, which is a happy thing, but I just want to make sure I come away with the correct lesson.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Let's do it.
cool. All right, so you got my screen there.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Let me just make sure I got my little drawing tools in case it's needed. So all right, so I got my trade here. I was really happy with this one. So this was I got in a little bit before the open. Got my entry right here when this little hammer candle was moving up, and got this squeeze out the gate. I had a lot of confidence in this move, so I just set like a stop, like just like a little bit down here underneath these wicks. It opened real good, pushed up. I took off my initial half profits here because of pre-market high, and I took off the rest of mine here because SPY was coming up to its weekly 9 EMA. You can't see that in this chart because this is the MES chart. But that was my reason. This was the one that went up to what was, I forget. I think this went up to SPY 428, which is actually way up here. But I kept my profits because Brandon's profits were fib profits. I mean, fib targets. His targets were fib targets. And during pre-market, I couldn't quite see where he had drawn his fib from, and I couldn't match mine up to him. So I was like, all right, let me use pre-market and moving average targets. So that's awesome, and I'll just have to restudy how to do my hidden fibs and stuff. Okay, but subject today is price action. So this is what it was. So I saw this thing surging up, right, in pre-market. So I was like, God damn it, I want to get in on this fucker. It's so strong. I was like, but it needs to come down and support. And like I was like, all right, maybe the 100 EMA right here, maybe some other shit. Like the 50 seems too high, so probably not that. And then I was like, oh shit, what about fair value gaps? So I went to the right, and I already knew this guy was here. I noticed that before. So I was like, let me find a fair value gap. And I found one right here, if I identified it correctly.
Yep.
Nice little guy right there, fair value gap. And I was like, oh, and lo and behold, what's this guy doing there? Unfilled orders. This was a data candle. So at the time, I was like, I don't know if unfilled orders on a candle, like an order block, I don't know if it's the same thing if it's a data candle, but I mean, what the fuck? It's a big wick, so I'll put it there, and it's matching up with the fair value gap. So I was like, it's got to be something. Um, so we made a nice low here on a daily level. There's a doji level. It's a little higher low right here. I was like, I see you, but I needed a little bit. I I I say I entered late here, but it was just because I wanted to see a little bit more proof of momentum. So when this candle kind of tapped the top of the fair value gap, I was like, all right, fuck it, like enough fucking around, let's get in. Um, but yeah, the main takeaway or the main thing I wanted to check in on was fair value gap and also this order block. It happened during data, but this is one of those ones, right, where it wasn't like let's wait for it to come up again and then come down, like to
Mm-hmm.
like do like a double top kind of rejection from it. This was more like find support, squeeze past, so that I guess the stops are taken out,
Yep.
and then it can happen again. But that's my interpretation, though. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Because there were both buyers and sellers right here. Because I seen this candle, it was freaking. It shot up, and then sellers got in, and then buyers got in as well. Because look, it came back up strong, created some other freaking order block right here.
Oh,
But
I'm
in
not
there,
saying your drawings.
right here, created this. But that
Yeah.
was a lot of buyers coming in, and you can see it from TTM right here.
Oh,
The
nice.
buyers
Yeah.
came in, and it like right here. What gave you the confidence to get it? You said, "Oh, you seen this candle? It looks strong." What did you see on that candle that made it strong to you?
This one here.
No, this one. You said, "Oh, I seen that big
Oh,
candle, a big data candle, and it looked strong. I wanted to get in."
yeah, 100%. Well, it was the size of the wick.
Mm-hmm.
The size of the wick was a big deal. Um, and it also crisscrossed a daily level.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's pretty much because I didn't play any of this stuff. I played when it came back and interacted here.
Yep. No,
Um,
no, that's good because look, you could see sellers try to come in right here on
yeah.
this little breaker block
Uh-huh.
and take this down. As you can see, they're starting getting in right there at this moving that what is this daily standard def.
Yeah, it's a standard dev on daily.
So that's a strong level. So sellers knew that they're going to try to get in here, but then they got taken out right here by the buyers, right? So there's that. There's a fair value gap. You got this. All the stops. This move stopped out all the sellers right here. So
Right.
they try to get in. They try to get back in there, and then they got stopped out, as you could tell because of this strong candle.
Yeah.
The rest of the sellers got stopped out, and it moved. Then sellers try to do it again right here. I don't know if it's a fair value gap that was preventing it from continuing to go down.
Right. So that
Um,
one you just circled, that one I definitely noticed when I was trading. I was like, oh, you're gonna show me a little doji, like right in my fair value gap, right by the top.
yep,
That was another one where this guy right here, he confirmed that. He
yep.
confirmed the top of that one. So I was like, get the fuck out of town. This is good. Um,
Yeah, exactly. When you see that right there. But the thing that I want you guys to, when you see these candles, see how price action reacts. Because this candle right here, to me, tells me it came down, smacked it, and then got sucked right up.
yep.
And that's what you guys got to pay attention to. How does the candle, does it Is it like 1 second, came down, tagged it, and got sucked up? Because that's telling you the buyers are rushing in. Because right here, this breaker block, remember breaker blocks, I tell you, if price action is above it, like right here in this area, guess what? It's going to stop out all the buyers and it's going to cause a squeeze. But if it's below it, see, the breaker block was created. Sellers try to take over right here with this little leg right here.
Yeah.
They try to take over, but buyers got filled right here. These buyers got filled right here, and they just came in. Look, RSI above the 50.
Yep. And I was watching that RSI. I was like, all right, we got one higher low. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I was like, if we get that little bit of push, that's kind of one of the things I was waiting for, actually. There's a few things I was waiting for. I wanted to see a nice mount of the 10, which happened. Um, and then with a nice curl up on the 10. And I wanted to see that RSI. So if you go back in RSI, this is another thing that gave me confidence from, like it spent most of the time in the upper half.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is all upper right here. And if you go back in time even further on this chart, I remember it's more upper channel. This
Mm-hmm.
this little journey into the lower channel,
Yep.
like that's small compared
Yep.
to this.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So that was a cool thing. One thing I want to make sure I understand. So you were saying that if it breaks above, if price action goes above that breaker, it's going to stop out shorts and go for the squeeze,
Yep.
and that's what we
But
saw.
there's other things that you got to stack up, but I'll get back to that right now. To answer Luna Cat's question, fair value gap is when you have three candles. It could be, it don't matter the color, um, but it's three candles and there's you go. So there, let's just take these three right here, like Lasagna Cat, right? So see the wick right here,
Yeah.
the wick right there. So it goes to the other wick of the third candle.
Okay.
He has this gap right here.
Okay.
That's the fair value gap. Over here on this side, there's another one right here because they went from this candle to this red candle. So that's what caused this one right here. That's what caused that pop.
Oh, Semper. So you're saying this little wick down here up to that little breaker?
Yep.
Oh shit, I didn't. All right, that looks very inconspicuous to me. But yeah, so this one here comes right in the middle of that
Yep.
fair value and comes up.
Yep.
If you catch momentum on this candle, awesome, or that candle, or any of these three right after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's in the middle, but it would have lined up with your with the moving average
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The 10 SMA right there. I mean, I've
right
seen
there.
and I saw today when watching price action that they often go into the middle of the
Yep.
yeah, the fair
I
value
was
gap.
I was talking to Whiplash. He's like, "Well, how do you play in the fair value gap?" And I tell him usually when it lines up with the moving average, I'll take a starter position at the top of the fair value gap,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll take another full, and then I'll load up a full position if it comes down and it tags my moving
The
average,
moving
and then
average. That's cool.
my stop would either be a tick or two below either the fair value gap or the moving average down here. See how the
Yeah.
10 is right here? So
Uh,
that's how I usually play it. Now back to your question as to the breaker blocks.
yeah.
I was explaining to Whiplash. He's like, "Well, leave it right there."
Oh yeah. It's moving around a couple windows. Yeah. Here we go.
He's like, "Well, it's coming down and it's creating a downtrend." He says,
Yeah.
"How do you trade the fair value gap?" And I told him I still use the RSI, and I want to see higher lows, just like right here. See how there's higher
Yeah.
lows, higher lows. It's in the fair value gap. Usually, I don't like for them to bust through like that, but hey, not everything's gonna be perfect, right?
You mean bust through the trend line?
Or no, through the fair value gap.
All right, yeah. Oh, how do you mean though?
See how these two close down here?
I see what you're saying for sure. Yeah,
I like
yeah,
for them to at least hold it like kind of like this a little better. So
right.
either way, the
I
main
think
thing is
yeah. I guess what happened with this one was at this doji level. That's still
yeah.
10-5 doji, by the way. So I
No,
guess
that's fine.
yeah, I gave it support for that loop. You see, like on its own, I was like, yeah, like I wasn't gonna enter here, but when I saw a higher low, it's like, but that's good to know that you can obey those candle closes, like to evaluate whether it's holding the gap or not, like normally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the fair value gap, we don't trade them how we trade the common gap or the daily gap like we do elite system. You know, uh, we 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 kind of do, but we don't. Uh, like sometimes on a daily gap, we'll get in at the tag of it on the first tag of it because we know that it's not gonna fill on the first tag.
yeah,
Uh, but anyways, the biggest thing that I explained to Whiplash was higher lows. If I'm going long, I want to see higher lows, but I also want to see MACD closing in right there,
yeah,
closing in, and maybe even cross to the top side. If you start to see oscillation to the top side as well, and then cross a zero,
yeah,
that's like double bullish right there. And then you got higher lows, bullish. It reclaimed the gap, and then they got above that breaker block. So you know a squeeze is coming, right?
yeah.
And then you start to see more wicks over here. Once you know that it gets above that level, squeeze is coming.
I'm gonna take out those stops as well.
Yep. These sellers right here are gonna get taken out, and look at a bigger move happen
Yeah.
when they got taken out.
So going
Why?
back, oh, go on.
I said, why did they get stopped out? Because they had a buy to get out of their position, causing this to go up.
Yes. And you were saying before, um, what you call it, that this opening up above this breaker caused the initial squeeze.
What's that? I'm sorry.
That oh no worries, that these candles opening up above this breaker, this last
Yep.
breaker here, caused
Yep.
that initial squeeze. Yeah,
Yep.
when it came to evaluating this trade before I took it, the falling wedge trends really caught my eye and caught my
Yep.
attention. And I guess learning what we're learning here about taking out previous stops, the way squeezes do that, because like it's hitting breakers all the way up.
Yep.
Like when it's squeezing up here, it's snapping through all these breakers.
Yep.
Um, so with falling wedges played correctly, and if there's this kinds of like price actions in the past, previous, get a good fucking squeeze.
Yeah. Exactly. And, I mean, you could have had three different types of players right here. You got a price action or a pattern day trader, trading the falling wedge.
Yeah,
You have the fair value gap guy, fair value ICT trading the fair value gap. Then you got the moving average system guy over here, reclaiming the 10, looping the 10 right here, loop the 10 and squeeze.
yeah,
You got the indicator guy using MACD, RSI. They all would have won right there.
yeah. I would have won, and that's the best is when you all win together because that's the most volume for your win.
Exactly. No matter what kind of trader you are right there, you could have won.
Yeah.
But like I said, the more breaker blocks you're taking out or the more wicks, the more violent the move is going to be.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And like it's this thing went smashing for a long, long time. Um, something I noticed while we were going over this stuff was what you call it, that so with the fair value gap that I had based this trade on that I identified, one of the things I did before it worked out was it caught the 10 SMA right here, right in the middle of the fair value gap.
Yep.
And for this fair value gap back here that you identified, it did the same thing right in the middle of the gap. It caught the 10 SMA.
Yep.
Um, is is it often the 10 SMA or does it just matter which what you call it? moving average might be in play at any given time. Like, have you noticed a
Yeah,
lot of times in that interaction, but it's more around what you call it, like what's the in play moving average
it's whatever's in the area.
in the area? Yeah.
Because I caught them on the 50 SMA when they lined up with the fair value gap. I caught them on the 10 SMA, the 200. The only one I haven't really caught it was on the 100 EMA, but I'm sure it'll line up if I actually draw it myself.
Yeah, no doubt.
But as long as they line up, those levels line up, you're almost the odds are in your favor.
Yeah.
But one thing that I wanted to add, if you would have got in, even if you got in right here or if you got in down here, right?
Hmm.
You always have to take it in steps, right? So you got in right here and you're looking at price action and you look to the left. You see this little high, you see this little high, and then you see that resistance.
Hmm.
You, as the trader that's in that position, should already know that you're going to have some hesitation or a little bit of resistance right here.
Yep.
So as the candles are developing, to that area, see, like this candle, it went up, came down. Okay, I'd expect that, right? I
Yeah.
expect a little pullback because why? We got a little bit of wicks here, we
Mhm.
got resistance here, a couple orders there. So you know you're gonna expect resistance right here. The sellers trying to take over, and they couldn't. They didn't have the strength. TTM
Yeah.
said they didn't have no strength at all. RSI right here said they had no strength at all.
Yep.
So the sellers got whatever rookie sellers, because they probably seen the standard dev or the doji level. Yeah, the
Yeah.
standard dev daily level. They probably put fishing orders out there or whatever the case, however they got in. They got it. And then it filled some of these orders right here. These
Yeah.
orders right here. It pushed it back up. The sellers already had everything stacked up. We got RSI, MACD, and TTM. Not only that, you got volume. Uh,
And that oscillation that you just pointed out, plus the TTM swapping, as well as like 10 SMA and this, all the things you just pointed out gave me confidence because you can bet that in this moment right here, when this opened up and slammed down red, and it was like a slammer downer. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I had that moment where I was like, is this going to be a fucking dog shit like dump out, like who the fuck
yeah.
knows what's going to happen? But then I looked at all the stuff you just said. I was like, fuck that, let me go down the line and see, and then I felt good about it, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And that really prepared me for the open, which was the very next candle, so that was cool.
So then at this candle, you can be scared. Like you said, you were a little bit hesitant or a little bit doubtful, right?
Yeah, it made me doubtful, like yeah, you know, because my entry was right here and I was like, okay, good. And when you see this one, you're like, yeah, I'm home free, you know, king of the world shit. And the next one's like that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so exactly, I had that moment. Yeah.
So don't look at it that way. Look at it this way, right? This one filled some orders right here because it's full body, so it's strong. But sellers try to come in and take over, but they couldn't, right?
Hmm.
So the next candle right here and this one, as long as it goes one tick above here, you see it come up, two ticks or whatever, come back down, and then another tick come back down. You know that it's
Mm.
filling orders, and then kind of towards. And I think this kind of explains why the last 10 seconds of the minute candle will get sucked up, and then it'll just it's like a freaking tidal wave, and it'll just fucking take off. So as you see the candle development, you're just waiting for one tick above this,
Yeah,
and then you'll start to see the strength. You'll see it come back down one more tick, right? You see the candle come down one tick, and then it'll all of a sudden it'll just start to go up, and then maybe one more time down to
yeah,
confirm. So it's like it's confirming that thing. So it'll go up, come back down to this level, and then that's when buyers are really getting in because they already know that it's gonna go.
yeah.
Same thing over here. at the daily high, right? Once you're in right here, you should expect a little small pullback right here in this area, and you do. Look, you kind of do get it, because why? It's a high.
Yeah.
Is it pre-market high or is it previous day high?
Pre-market.
So pre-market high, right? It hits it. You know that seller's gonna try to be there, try to predict that there's gonna be a hard rejection. So it shot down. You can see it right there because it opened up right here.
Mm-hmm.
So sellers were there, but there must have been a big buy block order right here,
Yeah.
or a big sell block order that got stopped out. Either or, it could be either or.
I got a
Um,
question. So we're talking about like coming back to this area of price action. I
mhm.
noticed that behind them, there's this guy right here. You know, this little dude in the past.
Yep.
Now, is that one null and void? Because it already had like some stuff. Do any of these orders still exist, or is that done because of this price action?
I would say it would be done because it would have got stopped out with this price action.
Yeah, exactly.
But not to say that there couldn't be other people, because look, there's this level that kind of lined up, but this
Yeah.
level right here, I know you looked at that, right? But look,
Oh, yeah.
those people got knocked out right here, right?
That was them getting taken out. Those people don't exist anymore.
Yeah. But look, there's a little breaker block right here
Yep.
that lines up with that level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the sellers were.
Yeah.
They're hiding in disguise because they seen the 10 pointing down sharply. They're like, oh, I'm gonna get in short. So they got their play, but didn't lock in, or I don't know. I don't know what it could be. It could be whatever. But
Yeah, like
this
if they're
little
moving
area.
average players, they might have wanted the 100 EMA if they were moving
Yep.
average players.
Yep.
Could have been their deal.
And then right there, they got stopped out with this candle, which caused the pop all the way to the high. And then sellers try to take it back down. Buyers said, "Nuh-uh, we're still in control, homie."
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, as soon as you seen this candle come down, you're like, "Oh fuck, should I get out?" Maybe you could lock in, maybe like half, 50% right there, just in case.
Yeah.
You never know if it's gonna reverse on you. Could have locked in right there, let some ride, and then as soon as you see this candle tick one tick above this level or the pre-market high, fucking that should give you confidence that it's gonna keep going.
Man, and that was exactly what was that was by the time I got up here, obviously like my my thinking was like this was the last thing that made me,
Nervous?
yeah, a little bit of nervous. Over here, this was like a make sense, a sensible first profit. And it was just like you said, I was like, all right, fuck around a little bit over there if you must, but once you get here, and sure enough, like and this happened real quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Same like over here. Look at this order block, and you can see it time and time again, right?
Yeah.
Look at you line it up. Boom. The buyers came in, took them all out.
Yeah.
Took them all out because the sellers, not the sellers, but
These are buyers right here, right?
yeah, yeah, buyers, yeah.
So
And
these buyers just met up with those buyers, right?
mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it's these dudes left over here, right? Because these guys got
Yep.
filled. It's these
Yep.
dudes.
And
Yeah.
then look at these sellers right here created a breaker block because there's the bulls and the bears are fighting right here at the pre-market high, and they're like, oh okay,
Yeah.
I got you. The bulls came in, I got you, and then boom, take them out. And then look, as soon as it stops out, the sellers right here, squeeze.
They stopped out these sellers. The sellers were on top of here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sellers that try to. These are the rookies right here, the rookie traders trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna short the bottom.
Bottom. Yeah.
I'm gonna short the bottom because look, there was right here, it was the bottom, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna short the bottom and then go, okay. Buyers loop the 50. Is that the 50?
That's the 100 element one. Yeah.
Loop the 100, and
Also,
then boom, they got taken out right there.
I want to point this out as well because the other thing that helped out with that was um what do you call it? This guy right here, fair value gap,
Yep.
and that extended all the way over there.
Yep.
So that was a good one. Another good fair value gap. Well, it was another one like before though. It was a weird character for the day, I guess, because you had a candle close outside of it at
Hmm.
one moment. But it came back up to do its thing.
Yep.
Um, but it's worth mentioning that like, with that, what do you call it, fair value gap, there's also that moving average present, the 100. That's cool.
Yeah, and even right here, there's another fair value gap.
Yeah, yeah.
So on the 1 minute, you'll see, and this is a question that I've got a few times, right? Because there's that fair value gap,
Hmm.
that lasagna cat, and then you got this fair value gap, and then if you're using the fair value gap system, you're like, fuck, which one do I use?
Yep.
Which one do I use, right? These are the two tips that I just came up with my own. Is I try to use the fatter one, the bigger, fatter one, right? But before I decide which gap to use, I look at the 5 minute because usually, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should have been a 5 minute fair value gap, probably like the size of this one. So I'll go look on the 5 minute. Is there a fair value gap there? Yes,
Right.
no, okay. If there is, then I'm gonna trust the 5 minute fair value gap a little bit more. Then I look at the 30 minute. Is there a fair value gap there? Yes. And then I overlap them. I overlap. I kind of average them out. Like I'll take the 5 minute. If there's none on the 30, then I'll take the 1 minute and the 5 minute and I'll average it out.
Yeah.
Or I'll enter on the top. I'll enter let's say there's a fair value gap here and then another one down here. Sometimes I'll enter in the middle of this one and then I'll enter at the top of this one or in the middle of it. And then I mean I that's a little bit riskier play, and I recommend you have a cushion for that so you can allow a bigger stop loss below here.
So when you wait for the moving average to buy in a fair value gap, like let's say fair value gap right here, and this is the 50 SMA, would you buy right at the 50 SMA if it's fair value, or would you wait for momentum price action?
No, like when I see a fair value gap and it's lined up with the moving average,
Yeah,
I'll take one at the top starter and I'll take one at the 50 SMA.
right. Take one at the top of the gap, which will be like up here.
Yep,
And you take one at the 50 SMA right there.
yep, average down and let it
Yeah.
ride. And then my stop would be a tick or two below the fair value gap.
Yeah. Cool. That's
Um,
all.
any questions? I know Dell was typing, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. What's up, Kelsey? Uh, but yeah, great trade, dude. The only thing that I have is this is a strong candle. I don't know what made you get out at. Oh, you said it was like a fib level, or it was coming up to
It was
resistance.
the weekly on SPY. SPY had a weekly nine EMA right there.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Let
yeah,
uh, pay attention to how the candle is reacting. Like this is another thing that I'm always stressing is how is the candle reacting to that level. Just like I explained, these breaker blocks and these order blocks, you should expect a pullback because of these wicks right here. So you get the pullback there, right? And then you should expect a pullback here because there's wicks there.
hmm
Over here, other than that 9 EMA up here or wherever it was, uh, how did it react? Did it smack and like
it didn't do much of anything because what I did was I took my profits like um a point or
before it
so
went to it? Yeah, shied it.
before I went to it. So if I give myself a chance at like not taking my profits shy of like a major level or moving average, then I'll have the opportunity to see how it's reacting at the moving average or target or whatever to
Yeah.
see if continuation might be possible.
Yeah, auto. Hmm. How?
Did I get that right?
Yeah, but well, I was trying to help you like let's let it ride. Just the
Yeah.
only thing that I would say to let it ride is, or that would help you cut a bigger piece of the move would be okay. You locked in right there, right? You locked in. Now
Yeah.
look at how far price action is from the 10,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
at this point, instead of getting out right there, attach it to the 10.
Yeah.
Because look, you would have got stopped out way up here.
Yep.
So maybe try
Yes.
that strategy.
That would
Because
be good.
you're still going to give a little bit of money back because I'm sure it probably went up like way up here.
Yeah, it went up a couple more points,
But
couple few
still, look,
there.
you still caught another 2 or 4 points,
Yeah, I think at least four.
3 to 4 points you could have caught.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a suggestion.
Nah, it's a good suggestion because like I want those bigger moves because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, from I know that from here where I entered up to the very top was 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to get those 15-point moves if you're in that move.
Yep.
You don't want to not get the 15-point move, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And this is a question that I get. Well, how do you trail stop? Like, if price action would have been a little bit closer to the 10, then I probably would have used the next one.
Yeah.
But even though it's attached to the 10, I'm still looking at candle development and candle interaction with levels, because if I see it getting weak up here, or if I see for some reason I see like a weekly level up here, then I'm most likely gonna lock in up there.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't let it go down here, or I'll tell myself, yeah, it's attached to the 50, and that was worst case scenario if I'm not near my computer. But if I'm near my computer and it breaks a 10, then I'll lock it in right there. Fuck it, whatever, because you're still gonna catch a little bit more points.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let's see
Yeah.
if you put it to action. Let us know if your results got any better.
Oh, pardon?
I said if you use that strategy, let us know if your results got any better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll try it out. It sounds good to me. Makes sense.
But do you see what I seen? Like when I see price action extended, like over here, I probably wouldn't have used attach it to the 10. I probably would have attached it to this at moving average right here,
Because it's close to the 10 already.
right? Because you would have got stopped out right there.
Hmm.
But if I attached it to this moving average because it's a little bit further away, I would have got stopped out up here.
Yeah.
So just you kind of just got to make that calculation and make that decision yourself. But this is what I mean. Like this is the perfect example right here. Like moving average is really far from the 10. I'm locking in 50, 75%, attach it right here and let it run. Just
Yeah.
fuck it. Fuck it. Because no matter what, the main objective of trading is to be consistently green,
Yeah.
right? And that's going to make you consistently green. It's not going to be like, well, I'm going to break even and I'm going to give all my trading green back. You're going to give some back, but you're still going to lock in above your first target.
Yeah.
You always want to have a first target and a second target. So like that, you lock in 75, 50%. That's totally up to you how much you want to lock in, and then let the rest ride. Be like,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'm happy. I'm happy with my first target. I got 100, $200, whatever it is, $25, $50. I'm going to let the rest ride. Fuck it. Like, you're still going to end up green.
Yeah, man. That works.
And you're still going to end up above. The goal is to end up still above your first target.
Yes.
And as you get better at attaching the move a trail stop to a moving average, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm willing to give this much money back. Look,
Mhm.
even if you attached it to here, you would have got out where you got out.
Yep.
So yeah, you didn't fucking catch it up here, but hey, maybe next time. That's
Yeah.
why I'm always, even though you have it attached to a moving average, concentrate on candle development, concentrate on how it reacts, how it interacts to certain levels, how it interacts to wicks. Because like I said, you'll see it fluctuate once it's in that wick. Once it's in that wick zone, once it's in that wick zone, you're gonna see it go up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're like, okay, those are orders getting filled right there. Those are orders getting filled.
Yeah.
Tell yourself those are orders. You can tell yourself those are sellers getting filled. Those are buyers getting filled. And then once it goes above that wick, oh, it must have been sellers getting filled and sellers getting stopped out. Boom.
Yeah. Just making a couple of quick notes here. By the way, can you hear me typing? I'm always wondering if
No,
like,
nope, nope. You're good.
all right, cool.
No, awesome trade.
Thanks.
Any other trades?
Um, yeah,
Any?
I got another one. It's got a little bit of price action. It's got some breaker price action in it, a little bit of breaker block.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Let me make a timestamp note.
I don't know if anybody else wants to share their trades.
Yeah, anybody else want to take a crack at it? If not, I'll go ahead
Go
with
ahead and do another one. I'll ask somebody a question.
yeah. I'm gonna go back in time a little bit to Monday. Um, I wanted to do that one first because it was more pertaining to the um what you call it, the order block. But this one here, this one's also nice because it kind of is more in line with my usual strategy.
Yep.
So yeah, nice trend line break, a little bit of consolidation. Came up to 100 EMA, so I decided to draw a fib from that 100 down to the bottom. I saw her come down here, do a little bit of a consolidation dance, and I decide to get in first leg entry style above this little candle here. Um, Before I made that entry, when it was on its way down, I was like, all right, let me look to the left here, see what's happening. Obviously, there's a lot happening right over here, like a lot. And it was kind of fucking around with it a lot. Uh, but this, I'll show you my guy. Uh, this was my guy right here. It's the little the little breaker guy to the right. When I saw that he was that these wicks were up above it,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that looks really nice. And then these guys came down here. Um, I don't know what was happening with this one. I actually don't know where that little candle dash is. I think it's actually here.
Yeah,
But
look
I
at it.
figured I had support from down here. And what I figured was like I'll take profits up here by the 100 again, and it's most likely going to take out these guys, take out those stops, and I'll get out a little bit before this moving average here, which was the weekly 100 or daily 100. I forget which one, which turned out to be a pretty good one. Like I could have, capitalized a bit more here.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe look back and seen this dude now that we're talking about it a little bit more.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, good trade. And like I was into it because it was like sort of my more like my usual strategy combined with a little bit of breaker stuff back here. Because there's actually the kind of a green
Mm-hmm.
breaker a little bit, and then
Yep.
this guy. Um and just to add to like the trade, you know, this is something I don't often know too much about, but it looked like MACD was pulling back right at the zero line. Sometimes when MACD gets close, it's like, well, is it going to cross or is it a pullback?
Mm-hmm.
With everything else that was going up here, and also it was holding my fib zone, my ad zone with the fib. Um, so it all kind of pieced together real good. Um, I was really conscious of the breaker back here though, which is a cool thing. I don't know if there's any other um oh shit. Never mind. There was one of the trades I took, and it was this one. Oh man, I wish I had my SPY chart for this one. So what you're not seeing is that in the middle of the day, right around here, SPY put in an algo with a really long tail, just like the ones that are in pre-market often.
Mm-hmm.
They rarely ever happen during um in intraday after the open. It didn't even print on Futes. It only printed on SPY.
Mm-hmm.
But the head of it was up here, and it's how went boom right down. When that head happened, I was like, guess what? That's the over under level. That's like the new over under level.
Yep.
So that was there too. You can't see it, but it was like right over here when I was entering my trade. Yeah, and
Yes,
tons of
sir.
game plan. Yeah, so that's it. Is there any other price action stuff that I'm missing out on, or
Just like take it in steps. I know you didn't get in over here, but what you gotta tell yourself, even though, how can I say, yeah, even though your move wasn't over here, you still gotta walk yourself through that price action, right? Because you're gonna be like, oh, all these sellers right here. Once it goes above right here, one tick, they're
yeah,
gonna pop. They're gonna get taken out, right? So what you're gonna do is in this price action right here, you're gonna be like, okay, if it gets above this wick, it's gonna squeeze. Okay, where is it gonna squeeze to? You have to look at either moving averages, fib levels, or daily levels, standard dev, whatever it is, because that's gonna give you your target.
yeah.
That's gonna give you your target up here. What moving average is this white one?
Um, that one's the 100. The one right above it's the 200.
Yeah, so you have two. You have two levels right here of resistance, 200. So only
Anyway,
logical, right? Only logical that if it takes out the sellers right here, it's gonna squeeze to that point. And
yeah.
there might be sellers trying to get in at that point. Why? Because we're in a downtrend. Remember,
Mhm.
counter trend pops only 4 to 6 points.
Yep.
That's another thing that you could have kind of took into effect because even though you got in right here and it created a higher low, you're still you're still in a counter trend.
Yes.
You're still in a counter trend because of even this, but you even had that falling breakout right here, falling wedge breakout for up, had that lined up. Then same thing over here. Once you get below this level, where is it gonna go to? Right? The buyers are gonna get taken out one wick below that.
Yeah.
But on this side, you don't have no moving averages. You don't have a level, right? So
Right.
what would you shoot for?
As a target or as support?
Either or.
Well,
Let's say
you,
you were in short up here somewhere, whatever, right? Let's just say because it broke that yellow line.
yeah.
Let's just say you got in right there. Where do you think price action is gonna go to?
I mean, I would have thought that would go down here.
Perfect. Exactly what I was thinking. It's
Yeah.
gonna go to the low, where
Right.
there's buyers or sellers. It
Right.
didn't quite it didn't quite make it there, but that's what you would kind of forecast. Okay, if I get in right here, is it worth it to catch all the way down here? That's the kind of calculations or or predictions you have to try to kind of make
Do you
is
mean
okay.
like you mean like if I saw this consolidation and thought maybe this was the long, that I would need to calculate, well, this has to be my stop down here below this.
No,
Is
like if you're in short over here and it doesn't make it over there, doesn't
oh,
make it over here, it created a higher low, you might want to think about getting out.
yeah,
Because sometimes, remember, the market maker's goal is to follow liquidity and take out the retail traders. Retail traders, they look at this support, right? And they're like, oh, I'm going to put a fishing order out right here, right?
right.
I'm going to put a fishing order out there. But what I'm starting to realize, and it goes with the elite system, and that elite play is called the fresh low breakout.
Yep.
And I never got it. I was like, man, why is it called a fresh low breakout, right? This is a fresh low breakout. Why? Because this was a low, and this takes out all these retail traders right here, because there were probably buyers, right? Orders that didn't get filled.
He's right here.
Yep, there's 2 block orders. There's even a breaker block right here. So you know there's no orders. There's orders in there that didn't get filled.
Yeah.
So this caused this. This big candle was caused by this because it took out all the buyers right here that were, that didn't get filled on this move.
So this one right here was a market maker candle
No, it was a stop loss eater.
created by market makers or not?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
These are just shorts that got in up here at this daily resistance or whatever that thick white dash line is.
Oh, they just happen to be able to overpower these longs.
Yeah, because they're in here, right? They're in here, and
Yeah.
then it could have been market makers, but either way, market makers' job is to their stop loss hunting.
Yeah.
Where's their stop losses? Right here.
Yeah.
In order for these buyers to get out, they have to sell. Sellers are already in here. Market makers probably had a big block right here, sent it down. They're like, remember, market makers, they don't go for 10 points. They don't go for fucking, 15-point moves. They don't. You might think they do because they cause big candles, but they don't. The hour between the dog taught me that market makers, they have 20, 100 million orders in at the time, right? And let's say they have 100 million orders, right? So they're gonna put 100 million orders right here, another 20 right there, another 20 right there, another 20 right there, and they're just scaling out. They go for ticks, two
Yeah.
ticks, but 2 ticks at a million fucking contracts is like $2 million or whatever. So in 2 ticks, they're still making a lot of money. But guess what? They have to take a profit. They
Yeah.
took out all these stops. They took a profit. Boom, caused that pop. Why? Because the market makers took out all these stops, but they realized they gotta take profit. And that's why the fresh low breakout works.
Yeah.
Because it eats up all the retail stops, takes them out, and then they're just chasing. They're over here. Oh fuck! I gotta get back in and make my money back. And then they just keep pushing it up, pushing it up. In the meantime, market makers taking profit, taking profit, taking profit, taking profit.
Mm.
Remember, they use high frequency trading machines, so they're fucking taking profit, fucking every 2 ticks.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully anybody have any questions? No. Cool.
I mean, it would be cool to be able to like regard this as playable, right? Like to be able to identify this as like, all right, they're just taking out stops, and here's a higher low. Catch the momentum here, like I
Yep.
don't know, at the 10, and then go up. I mean, to me, that sounds like a bit, well, it's a bit speculative for me at this point, but like, I don't know if one could devise a good set of rules against it. I mean, in support of it, then shit, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, but I just want you guys to start visualizing the candles. You know, like
Yeah,
okay, there's look to the left. Okay, there's a block order there. Could there be a pop or a dump? Okay, if it breaks one tick below here, it might dump, right? And you're in this candle, or you're not in the candle, but you're just watching that candle, and you watch it go one tick below that this green candle over here, one tick, and then all of a sudden you see it go one tick back up, and then all of a sudden you'll see it flush. And
yeah,
you're like, oh, that's a stop loss eater right there. That's a stop loss eater, and boom.
yeah,
Or
man.
if it's a stop loss eater, it'll just go one tick below, and then stay there, and then just flush. Why? Because these are all sell orders that had to get stop loss eaten up, and it's just flushing. That's
So
why Brandon's always saying, "Oh, that's a scam candle," because it's eating up all the stop losses from the retail rookie traders.
is a stop loss eater like always intended to get the move back up, or can it just keep continuing down? I mean, I know it can do anything at once, but like, is there a
Usually, a stop loss eater candle is intended in the opposite direction.
yeah, yeah, intended to make it like travel back up
Yep.
because they'll take out stops and then longs will try to regain their money back.
Yeah, because look, right here on this one, on these candles right here, right?
Hmm,
These guys were freaking short players getting in at the bottom, and then they
right.
get taken
Get
out
to it.
right here. They get taken out right there,
So you get like
and
the
it
perfect
causes a pop.
situation. Yeah, you get the perfect situation of people shorting at the bottom and FOMO revenge traders or just someone savvy about the fresh low breakout buying in.
Yep,
It's cool.
exactly,
I like it.
exactly.
Yeah, man, that's really great.
Yeah, it's about fucking 20 hours a day watching YouTube videos.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, awesome trade though.
Cool.
Hopefully I'm explaining it where you guys can kind of, next time you're at the chart and you're watching live candles, you're like, oh, maybe this is what Temp was talking about. Is maybe this is a stop loss eater, or hey, this is gonna stop out all the sellers. It's gonna get squeezed, and then you're gonna start to see. Once you
Well,
start to see the chart like how I see it, hopefully you guys will start to see it, and then you're like, you can start predicting those squeeze candles. You're like, oh shit, it just ate up all these stops. It's gonna squeeze.
yeah. Well, it's also going to make it a lot more interesting and easy to stay engaged and focused just watching price action that you know you're not going to plan a move off of because it's not in your system or you don't recognize it. But you can, while you're watching it, like let's say for a long player and you're watching it go down, you can be all right, like this might be a part where it can like a long could like eat up some stops and go up, you
Yep.
know this could be one of those as well. I'm going to keep track of where that is. And when it comes down here, it's like, yo, we got this whole nest of orders. Let's keep an eye on that. And
Yep.
then just saying to yourself, all right, some longs tried to get in here. Maybe some shorts were taking profits here. I don't know, because it's been a mystery to me to be able to like narrate the chart in terms of buyers and sellers
Yep.
in terms of like they got in because of this. These guys got stopped out because of that. I can identify a squeeze a lot of time based on indicators, but to anticipate the traveling of the squeeze based on these prior
Mm-hmm.
unfilled orders, and that's huge. So it'll just make it more exciting to watch price action that I know I'm not going to play in the moment.
Yeah. Don't. I'm not trying to provide that information for you to go take trades. I'm trying to provide that information to make your guys' price action reading that much better, but also be able to be like, okay, these wicks right here can cause a pullback, or these wicks right here can cause a squeeze. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yep.
what I want you guys to see, but see the whole picture, kind of like Brandon sees it, because Brandon, that dude is laser on freaking squeeze candles. He's like, oh, it's gonna squeeze,
Yeah.
and I think studying other traders that are on YouTube has helped me almost come to that level. And this morning I was on with Whiplash, and I was telling them, okay, if it gets above, these wicks are gonna cause a little pop. It might cause a little pullback. You know, like these wicks might cause a little pullback, and then it's gonna pop. And if it pops and it goes above one tick above there, then it's gonna squeeze.
Yep.
And but I'm not just looking at price action, right? I'm looking at volume. Okay, look at price action. It got sucked up and then squeezed. You know, TTM, MACD, RSI, boom, right? It's gonna cause a squeeze,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to help you guys put all the lessons that we learn in the elites and all the lessons that show up every day. And Brandon's just dropping knowledge on us. I want you guys to be able to just take that whole picture and put it together and put it to work. You know, just try reading price action like that, okay? Just like I said, okay, these wicks right here to the left might cause a pop or it might cause a dump, and in or vice versa. You know, if the wicks are on the bottom, it might cause the opposite. But these wicks up here, since they're on the top, yeah, sellers are right here because these sellers right here. Oops, ah, that might cause a dump right here. So it might cause
Yeah.
a pop. Not only that, but you can predict the pop and the drops, and you're like, oh, it's just a pop because of these wicks right here. It doesn't look that strong. I'm gonna stay in, and then I'm gonna see how the candle starts forming right here. As you see this one, you're like, oh shit, it's gonna probably go down. And you're like, oh, okay, this next one opens up strong, opens up solid. Okay, now I'm waiting for this candle to pop up one tick above this zone right here. If it does, I know it's gonna squeeze.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got one more question. So
Sure.
in my trade, I was keeping an eye on this breaker back here, but by the time price action was over here, now that we're talking about it, this breaker is out of commission, right?
Yeah, but you still got this other one over here.
Yeah, this one right here. But that one's out of commission too, though, right? Because there's already been price action based on it.
Well, yeah, because of this one.
Well, the wick still exists though down here. The
Yeah,
wick still
yeah,
exists. All right, yeah. And this price action here did obey that.
yep,
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Good to know.
yeah.
Good to know.
But yeah, like I usually do, I just draw a level on those breaker blocks. So that's
Yeah.
my level.
All
That
right.
looks like it matches up with that dash line to the T. Boom. So that's my breaker block, right? So it's boom. Okay, I know there's buyers here. I know there's buyers here. So these buyers, if it doesn't fill, they might mark it in over here, cause this pop.
Yeah. And that's where my fib zone comes in. Because that's
Yep.
that's what these two dash lines are. That's my fib zone.
Yep. Right in
Yeah.
your pocket. And look at another breaker over here in that pocket. That
Yeah.
what? That causes speed.
Nice.
Telling you, pay attention to those breakers or those dojis, floating dojis. We might call them floating dojis in the elite system. Some other people call them breaker blocks. Same shit. And
Yeah.
it's a significant level that you should pay attention to.
Well, the breaker is an action word, so that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. Either way, the same description, right? Because what does the elite system always say? Mark off dojis, right? Dojis. Remember, uh, gaps, dojis, floaters, high range candles. It's just that we explain it differently.
Yeah.
Another trader might call it a breaker block or order block, whatever. It's all the same shit. They're just using different terminology.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, these little breaker blocks on the daily, significant levels,
Yeah.
significant levels. But hopefully that helps you with your price action.
Oh, hell yeah, 100%. 100%. Very, very glad about this meeting today.
And like I said, these terms might not be to the exact to the T, but it's my own interpretation of those two breaker blocks and block orders.
Yeah. For these price action vids, the YouTubers you recommend are ICT or that shit, who's that other dude?
Casper?
Right, Casper SMC, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm trying to push you away from BRT or anything. I just hey, there's some things that we like I can't get an answer to, but I might be able to get that answer somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or like, Connor or Brandon or even me, I can't explain it a correct way for you to understand it, right? So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go look for a video that explains it in a better way.
Yeah. Because also, like, Connor and Brandon, like, there's only so much time that they can spend on this.
Exactly,
There's only so
exactly.
many hours in the day. Yeah.
Um, and sometimes they like I've been trying to get. How do you identify that exact squeeze candle? How do you identify it, Brandon? And he's like, I don't know. It just comes with screen time.
Yeah.
But the next week I'll ask him again. What'd you see to identify that squeeze candle? And he'll give a little nugget, like, oh, and maybe he'll figure out how to explain it a little better. So
Right.
he'll give that little nugget. I'll take that little nugget and I'll go look at a YouTube,
Yes.
right? Like the volume when he says it gets sucked up, it gets sucked up like right here, it got sucked up and then squeezed.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, 2 bars before it gets sucked down. And then I went to YouTube and started looking volume videos. Okay, what does it mean? Okay. And then I started getting hints from other people. I was like, oh shit, okay. Boom. Light bulb goes off. And then
Yep.
I learned a different way to explain it uh to maybe help out Brandon, you know. And it's
Yeah.
not like I'm taking all these guys' strategies or anything and changing my strategy. No way. I'm just enhancing, improving my strategy, taking
Yeah.
bits and pieces of their strategy and line it up with elite strategy.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. I'm not, well, your Semper trades this and Semper trades FFG or Semper trades MA, Semper trades this. It's like, no, dude, I'm still using the same concepts.
Well, here's the reason why. If you just take a whole other concept and just run with that, then you're just changing strategies willy-nilly. And you don't, that's trader death. You don't want to do that. Because then you're just hopping from strategy to strategy and not being what you call it, consistent. Oh, and by the way, here's a couple more examples of where the volume got sucked in right before a squeeze. Two small volumes after larger ones, and then the squeeze. And down here to the right, two really small volumes, three actually, and then the squeeze. Do, do, do. So the meeting's still on. Looks like we might have lost Semper though, unless my speaker's not working. Unless I'm just talking to myself, which is also possible.
He's muted, so maybe
Oh,
got
okay.
something.
All right. Yeah, you never know with these digital communication things. But yeah, a couple more examples of low volumes. Uh, yeah, just to piggyback on what Semper was saying. Um, oh, hey, what's up, Kelsey? Um, yeah, use all this additional knowledge to enhance your strategy, and don't just leapfrog from strategy to strategy, or else you'll never get consistency or confidence. You'll just be grasping at straws. Yeah, nobody want. I think we all spent enough of our time doing that to where we don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I think you feel that like you need to, you've got your strategy isn't working for you, you don't really get it. So then you look for another strategy. It's always kind of looking for the grass is always greener thing. Like which strategy
yeah,
is going to be this will work, but nothing works all the time. And any strategy, you need time to like really let it sink in and really use it so you really know it. It's easy to watch somebody else use it, but then when you practice it in real life, it's like a lot harder. So it just takes that screen time over and over and over to kind of to get it right. So jumping
Yep.
around, so jumping around from strategy to strategy just isn't going to do it for you because you're going to run into the exact same problem every strategy. You're not giving it enough time. It's not working
yeah.
out for you because you don't really understand it. So
And it's also it's like also more of a gambler mindset where you're just like you're looking for that silver bullet that like oh this is the strategy where like I don't have to try as hard or like I don't have to study as much. Like this one's the sure thing. Like
right,
this one's the
exactly.
holy grail, and like
Yep.
that's no good.
It's kind of what I had a problem with the cat stacker.
Right.
Not only did it just kill my computer, so I couldn't actually use it because it was just murdered my computer, but
Yeah.
it was kind of like, when it was first coming out, it was kind of like, I think people are looking at it like, great. When this signal goes off, I'm buying or selling or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Right.
Without any other, and I think it's really dangerous because you're like, then now you're just letting the computer kind of tell you when to buy or sell, but things change all the time. You're not really understanding price action or how things are actually working. You just
Yeah.
letting something flash up on the screen to say buy, so you're buying, and it may work a few times, but that's not going to work. And clearly it didn't. If you try to implement it that way, it wouldn't work for you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's like
always.
I was. Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, it's always on the individual to do to put in the time. That's a machine or a program or a strategy isn't going to put in the time for you.
Well, I think that's where a lot of traders get they're misunderstanding trading, right? Because trading, if you want to make it your job or a career or your main source of income, guess what? You're still gonna have to put in the time,
Yeah.
right? Either it's just like learning to be a computer engineer, right? You still gotta go to college or go to or take a course to learn how to do computer engineering with any job. What they're not gonna teach you is how to apply it, right? Because you get book knowledge, and I'm a network engineer. Book knowledge is not like hands-on knowledge. You're not, oh, the book said this. What the fuck? I can't find the command. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, the command changed. The fucking book is 2 years old. The command is different now, right? Same with trading. Oh, I'm trying to apply the moving average system, but it doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. You just have to adjust it to your style, to your fitting, right? Because I came from a different chat room and I studied the moving average system. It was totally different. It was the 180, the 90, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but their style of using the moving average system was slow. It was just like too slow for me.
Yeah.
So then I found Connor in that trading room, and he ended up creating his own trading room, right? The BRT. So then I was like, oh, I like this guy's fucking strategy. I like his aggressiveness. I like his style, and that's what you got to shoot for. If you're a new trader here, go for that style. You're either gonna go for Connor's style or you're gonna go for Brandon's more conservative style, right? They both use Connor uses the 15 to 10 moving average. Uh, Brandon uses it the same way, but he uses other moving averages as well, right? But Brandon is a little bit more conservative, waiting for the confirmation. Connor's coming around because I remember Connor. He used to be, oh, it tagged the standard dev level. I'm getting in, but he's getting in because it tagged the daily standard dev level, and it's a strong level, right? He knows that it's strong, and he has that confidence in his system,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of trade rooms is they'll teach you the strategy, but they won't teach you how to put it in action. They'll
Yeah.
just say, "Here's my strategy. Go do it."
Hey.
You're never gonna learn nothing because you're like, "Well, how do I use it?" It's like Somebody giving a 15-year-old with no license a brand new car. Yeah, he's gonna use it, but is he gonna crash it? Most likely.
And he's probably gonna drunk drive too.
Exactly. And that's just gonna cause big issues, right? He's gonna blow up his car, gonna get it impounded and whatever. It's just like over here. You have the strategy, you're probably gonna blow up your account. Why? Because you have that mindset is, oh, quick money, quick money, quick money. No, don't do that. The best way to learn how to trade, honestly, is if you have some money saved up, if you want to learn how to play futures, which I highly recommend, is okay. Out of this $1,000, I can lose 500 and not give a fuck. Right? I can give 500 bucks. I can put it in this trading account and not even care if I lose it. Why? Because it's about 80 to 90% chance that you're going to blow up your account.
Yeah.
I paper traded for a year and a half. I seen in all these chat rooms, I seen people blow up accounts, and I always told myself, I'm not gonna blow up an account. I'm not gonna blow up an account. I'm not gonna start live trading until I'm ready. And I paper traded for a whole year and a half. I was like, fuck, I could have been making money that whole time. And guess what? I still blew up 3 accounts.
Yeah.
I keep telling you guys, I keep blowing up that I blew up accounts. I keep telling you guys that. And it's like it's not, there's no way of stopping that. Why? Because Brandon and Connor can teach you the strategy. I can teach you how to put it into action, but you're still gonna have emotions involved. And if you don't know how to keep those emotions in check, you're gonna make dumb decisions. That's inevitable. That's just part of the learning, right? Just gotta take the punches and roll with them, because you're gonna get, if you don't get blown up, you're gonna get knocked down. Definitely gonna get knocked down because you don't know proper risk management. You're gonna bag hold when you shouldn't be. You should be getting the fuck out. Uh, you're just gonna be nervous or doubtful because the move is going against you, and then you're just gonna click the button. You're gonna get scared and you're gonna stop out. There's all kinds of variables to take into account that you're not gonna get, that you're not gonna blow up an account or you're not gonna get stopped out. There's so many variables, but you have to start with the foundation of, okay, what's the proper mindset? I have to have the proper mindset coming in. I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking go in here, I'm gonna make $1,000 a day, this and that. No, don't come in with that mindset. Come in with the mindset is, I'm here to learn and I'm here to take bruises, because you're gonna get bruises whether you like it or not. That's inevitable. That's with any career path, and you can, whatever career you're in, I'm sure you had your ups and downs there, right? When you started off being a civil engineer, I'm sure there was like a road that you fucked up or something, right? You're always gonna mess something up, but guess what? You learn the most from your mistakes. You learn the most, and you'll never forget those mistakes as long as you have an open mind to make a goal, to diagnose a problem, to develop a solution, and then put it into action to correct that problem. And then you're just gonna keep doing the same thing. You're gonna, create a goal to correct whatever issue you have, and then you're gonna diagnose it. If you can't diagnose it, you can stop by on Fridays and we can help you diagnose your issue. And then we're gonna help you design a problem, right? We have help you design a problem to correct that issue, and then you're gonna put that solution into action to help you correct that problem. Kind of like what you went through, Lasagna Cat. Remember, you started out with bad entries.
Yep.
And then you always got stopped out. So what did we do first? We worked on your entries, right? We worked on your entries. You got your entries laser. What's the next step? Okay, you had an issue with getting stopped out. We worked on that. Same with Easy. We worked on his over trading. We worked on his entries. We worked on his stop losses. We worked on his mindset. That's the first thing we worked on both of you guys, your mindset. When you come into trading, you can't think like a normal person. You have to think like a trader, which is the inverse of a normal person. Come in with that strong mindset, trader's mindset, and then we worked on your issues. Then we worked on the strategy. We worked on the plan, creating rules around your strategy. Then we worked on market psychology. When you put those three together and you're consistent on all 4 or 5 things that I just mentioned, you're going to see the manipulation in the market and you're going to be able to be ahead of the game and be able to trade consistently. We always say you want to be boring in trading. You do want to have fun catching the big moves or getting money, right? But you want to be boring in the sense that you always see the same play and it works out. And like Mark Douglas says in Trading in the Zone, you have to accept the fact that it's not going to work 100% of the time, no matter what system you use. It's not going to work 100% of the time. But guess what? A loss could still be considered a win. You want to know how? Because you identified the trade, you took the trade, even though it went against you, you stopped out in a proper way. It didn't work out that day. That would still be considered a win, even though you took a red. Because you were able to identify your trade, identify your setup, identify your target, your stop loss, and you followed your plan, you followed your trade, and stick to it. Don't let nobody deviate you from that plan or play. Cool. Hopefully that works. Sorry if I went off on a tangent, but
Nah, it's all good stuff. That's all good stuff.
yeah, that's what we're here for, to help each other become consistent traders and hopefully help you quit your job. My goal is for anybody that I help is to help them make $500 to $600 a day. It can easily be done. You just have to have that confidence, have that strategy, and have that plan, and just put it into action every day. Cool. Good trade.
Oh yeah.
Anybody has anything to share? You have any more trades?
I have let's see. I got one more. And it's a red. It's from today. And
Just like I said right now, a red can still be a win.
yeah, this one is a win for learning, or rather reinforcing what I already know. It's more a win for like reinforcing what I already know, because like I disobeyed a lot of my system and strategy, and whereas my entries are usually really good these days, this entry wasn't that good and my stop was downright silly. So like, so here, right here, I'll just state the obvious. This is my entry and this is my stop. So one of the things that really kind of doomed this trade from the beginning was that I had already made the decision to shut down my platform before I noticed this opportunity. And when I noticed this opportunity, Like I was making a note, making a couple notes about the day before I was going to shut down my platform. But I already made a decision because I could already tell that this late in the day, I just really didn't have my mind set. And like, I found all this chop to be like, when's this going to end? But then I saw this and it did turn out to be an opportunity. But my mindset was kind of not lazy, but detached. And so I was like, it didn't, here's what it was. I wasn't in the mindset of accepting risk. That's what it was. I noticed the opportunity when this candle had come up here. This would have been the correct entry if someone was to attempt this opportunity. This would have been one. But I kind of noticed it when it was already up here. And then I noticed this one come down a little bit. And I made an entry that I knew wasn't good. Because I looked down here and I was like, damn, if my stop is down here, that's actually more than I feel like risking right now. If I'd entered here, it wouldn't even been a question. So instead of my stopping down here, I was like, all right, I'll make it a couple ticks underneath this wick because that will mean that it has like not gotten support on the 50 like more than once.
Mhm.
That was my thinking. So, but what it really amounts to was that since I was already closing down my platform, I was no longer in like my trading frame of mind. That's like why I decided to close my platform down. So I didn't accept risk. If I had, my stop would have been down here and I would have gotten this pop. Hopefully not would have been too freaked out. And this fucker went running, just running. Stuff that was good that I observed was that it was holding the top of the fair value gap, yet another reason to put my stop down here. And a lot of good supports down here. I'm not even going to name them all. Major moving averages, high of pre-market high, and some good consolidation around the 50, RSI, encouraging volume, the whole deal. Oh wait, Land of 10K Scoville says, if I close down my account every time I say I'm going to, I keep looking for opportunities. I really struggle with that. It's really overtrading. Yep, 100% Scovilles. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I had a feeling I wasn't going to be alone when I said that. Yeah, opportunities as in quotes, I noticed too. Totally, man. Totally. And you know what that is for me, is like, oh, look, there's a quote unquote opportunity and I want to make sure I seize one today. It's like revenge trading before there's any need for revenge in a weird way. Well, that's called FOMO, I guess.
Well, it's called
But
force trading, not over trading. Because
yeah,
let's say you're a short player and it's a long day. You're like, fuck, there's no moves up. There wasn't been a move all morning.
right.
I'm just gonna fucking okay. It looks like it might be coming down now, and it's a force up day, and you're like, I'm getting in, and usually it's your grade B, grade C setup, and you just like fuck it, I'll chance it with my grade B or grade C,
Right.
and you get in, and you're like, fuck, what I get in? It's I shouldn't have got in. You're already questioning yourself right away. It's like fuck. You're
And you
trying to
question
force a
yourself
trade.
because you're questioning yourself because it's grade B or C to begin with, and you might not even be in the correct mindset. So it's like you're going in with nothing. You're already going in at a deficit because you don't feel good.
Yep.
Because like in trading, you need emotional capital as much as you need money capital. If you don't have your emotional capital, you do this
Yeah.
instead of putting your stop down here. Actually, since I saw the ideal entry go away, I just should have been like, yep, but whatever. Yet meaning close my platform.
This is a great example of entry is everything. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you had entered where you should have, I know
Yep.
why you didn't, but if you did, this trade would have been awesome, and you would never have been any problems or fear. Because if you're
Yeah,
down there, you would never come close. What was that, a 2 point stop you had? It looks like,
it
give or
was
take.
like it was like 175.
All right, so it's a pretty small stop, but
Right.
you were never close to that. And then all through that consolidation period, it would go up, maybe 2 points, back down to your, break even, up 2 points, but you're also on that green side or at your break even.
That's
Whereas
right.
I always enter where you entered at this
Mhm.
in consolidation periods like this, because I suck at this. And it's the exact opposite. I'm break even to negative 2 points, break even to negative two.
Yeah.
So you're always down those 2 points. So if it continues farther down, if you don't have that 2 point stop, if either you're going to get stopped out or you're going to take a larger stop, because if it does break down below that, now you're down 3-4 points whenever you get your stop in. But if you had that good entry, all those problems go away.
Yep,
Uh,
absolutely.
Entry is just everything.
Matter of fact, if you had the correct entry, which is here, you might have even seen this candle as like, oh look, it's retesting my entry, you know.
And even
Um,
that giant candle down that your mouse is on right now, it only went down to your entry. You still would have been green, or you should probably would have been green, or at least break even at that very low.
yeah,
Whereas at your entry, that big red candle, the big scary red candle would have, gone in a point or two into your entry, be like, oh crap,
yeah,
this is going bad. Again, just entry is everything.
yeah. So it's like with the correct entry and correct mindset, this scenario would have been get in here, take this in stride. For me, this would obviously be my first profit take. In the correct mindset, I might see this candle and be like, all right, that looks like manipulation or stops taken out. And oh, gee, doesn't that look familiar? This one went down, but it went up. This one went down, but it went up. I wonder what this one might do. Maybe go up.
Yep.
Something along them lines.
Because look at all these dudes that got stopped out. No, they got in. Right there. They didn't get stopped out. They got in. They got filled right here. Yeah, they would have got stopped out.
They might have got stopped, yeah.
Yeah, they did. They
Unless
got
they,
stopped. They got stopped out by this red candle.
yeah.
Buyers came in, bought it back up.
This was a 2 point stop, by the way. I just realized. Yeah. So like, and two points is my norm. The reason why it's my norm is that with the correct entry, it's plenty of room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Did you
so
manually put the stop in, or was that at ATM?
that was I don't use ATM. I enter and then I manually create a hard stop and leave it there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't click it when it gets down there. I just manually do a hard stop. So instead of doing the ATM, I just do it. I just do separate, like I'll hard enter a target up here and I'll hard enter a stop down here. It's just not ATM automatic.
Yep.
But yeah, that's that. That's that. Not the way I like to do a Friday, but I'll take it. Little reminders.
Yep. Sometimes we just fall back to those old habits.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading a lot about like nervous system regulation and like what to do in response to your different neurotransmitters and hormones fluctuating, and just doing more stuff with meditation and diet and deep breathing to where shit like this just doesn't matter to you. Like to where
Yep.
shit like this doesn't matter to you. To where you could be like, you know what, fuck this day. I'm gonna, I'm gonna go scuba diving. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. We'll get there. We're gonna
Yeah.
fucking all be there, fucking scuba diving
Hell
together.
yeah. Just like close my platform. I'm gonna fucking close it down right now. There's a whole day out there. And that's the thing. You don't want to be tethered to this shit either. It's like you want it to be a good thing that feels good. Even if you like your job a lot, come to Hawaii, boys. All right, Kelsey, that sounds good. Even if you really like your job, it's like you also like taking a day off. I hope. So this
Yeah.
is shit.
You have to put in the time now so you can enjoy your time later. Know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So you can, yeah, you're gonna fucking work 6, 8 hours a day trying to learn day trading, right? But once you become consistent, you can trade off your phone, you can trade off your laptop,
yep,
and just trade for 2 hours. That's it.
yeah,
$1,200, $600 a day. That's more than enough for everybody to retire. $600 a day, that's 12,000 bucks a month.
Yep.
That ain't shit. To be able to do. You can consistently do 500 to 600 bucks a day.
Yep.
150 grand a year.
That's lovely right there. Boom.
Nice money.
Freaking 600 bucks a day. That should be everybody's goal. But take baby steps at a time.
But for
your
people that are
ultimate.
just like learning this, so you might not, because I know there's times where I'm like, okay, either my mindset is off, or maybe I've gotten 2 reds and that's my rule. I got to stop at that point. But I don't want to just wait, go do something for the rest of the day because I still want to learn and watch price action. That's where sim comes in. Just swap it over to sim and still look for opportunities. And if it works out with that, great. And so it's a sim. You just check. You didn't make any money, but check it up to the learning experience or whatever.
Yep.
You know what? More often than not, if I've taken like 2 reds and I do the whole okay, no more trading. When I go to sim, I take more reds. So it's like good thing I didn't continue try to force this trade up. But sim is a great way to learn. So just instead of saying I'm going to turn my system off, just say okay, I'm going to sim, and stick to that. Then you can still kind of learn from stuff.
What you have to practice, Kelsey, is calming that FOMO, calming it down. Don't get FOMO. Don't get FOMO. Don't just take the trade, because guess what? Even though you think you're using the sim to take a FOMO trade, you're still creating that habit of taking the trade. You don't want to do that because you're going to take that habit to live trading and actually take the real trade with real money, and then you might end up on the wrong side of the trade. So even though it is sim, treat it like it's real money. Treat it as much as possible. I know there's traders out there saying that you can't learn how to sim. You can't learn how to real trade for reals on the sim account. To some extent, yes, and that extent is the emotional connection to the money. But like I try to say is put money in the account that you don't care that you lose. That you don't care if you lose. It doesn't matter to you. And if you're not at that point, if you can't put 500-600 bucks into account and start trading and not care, then put 25 bucks a month or a paycheck, 50 bucks a month or a paycheck until you build up 500 to 600 bucks. And in the meantime, sim trade. But sim trade with 500 bucks. Don't sim trade with 1,000 or 100,000 or whatever. Sim trade with that and treat it as if it was your money. That will kind of help you. It's still not going to give you that emotional connection, but it's going to try to help you calm that FOMO down. And of course, if you're putting 500 to 600 bucks, don't expect to make 500 to 600 bucks a day, because you can't even trade ES. You're going to have to trade MES, but the whole point of trading MES is to create the good habits and good setups and good strategies so you can take it to the live trading side and keep it going. That's why the whole time during the finding your way is I want you to sim trade the whole time. I don't even want you touching your live account because we're working on your strategy. And I know there's some people that probably, even though I tell you I can't force you to not to sim trade, I can't lock your account. So you might, as you go through finding your way or whatever, and you're like, fuck, I think I got this down. I think I got this down. You might have your strategy down, but you don't have the other components down. You don't have the trader's mindset, or you don't have the trading psychology or the market psychology. And you need all those components to be consistent. If you have one and not the others, you're still gonna fail. You might have a great week green, but guess what? The next week might be a bigger red than your last green week. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to continue. You hear Brandon, 80 days green, dude. 80 days consecutively green.
That's what's up.
That's fucking amazing.
You should get like the thrill. The thrill to trading really should be in how good your trade was, not what you made. So if you FOMO in and get lucky and it goes up and you make a boatload of money, you should be pissed. At the end of the day, you should still be pissed, going, that was a fucking stupid trade. I made money, which was awesome. So that, but you should still be like, that was bullshit. Because you keep doing that, you're gonna lose. You're just gonna lose. You should be happier with smaller amount that were good trades. You're like, that was a solid trade right there. Good entries. I totally saw it. I had this working for me. I took the trade. I had a good stop. I didn't need it, and voila. That's what you should be psyched about. That should get you going. A ton of money. I mean, a shit trade still a shit trade, even if you make money.
Yep. Treat every trade. Create good habits. Create good habits. You don't want to create bad habits. I've been there where I was taking trades just because, oh, I saw a pullback. I gotta practice that pullback. I gotta practice that pullback. Yeah, but is that pullback in a significant level, whether it's a moving average, fib level, daily level, weekly level, monthly level, whatever you use? Is it a pullback to that? You want to create that habit. Because if it's just a pullback in the middle of the air or the middle of the chart, yeah, it's a pullback, but that's all you have. You don't have confirmation. You don't have stat catalyst. You just taking a pullback. But guess what? That's gonna translate to your live trading. You're gonna this is a pullback. This is a pullback. But you don't have no objective rules or objective strategy to confirm that pullback. Whether it's a pullback high or a pullback low, to get in short or get in long, you can't discern the difference between a pullback, or is it a pullback high, or is it a pullback low? Is it support? Is it resistance? There's a lot of shit you have to take into account to be able to make a proper decision. But that's what we're here for, to help you create that strategy, that plan, that setup, that system, is to help you create that consistency. And that is my main goal here, is to help everybody who comes into this group, to BRT, to help them become consistent. If I had the power, I would want everybody in BRT to make $500 to $600. And guess what? Once you hit your $500 to $600, guess what? You always have to continue pushing yourself. You hit $500 to $600 for 6 months. Guess what? Let's set a bigger goal. Let's set up $1,200 a day, and then you get to there. Okay, how do I get to $1,200 a day? From 600 to 1,200. Okay, let's create a midpoint goal of 900. Let's bump up our daily goal from 6 to 900. Okay, can I hit 900? Yes, I can. Okay, then you're that much closer to hitting $1,200 a day. Imagine treating the fucking market like an ATM, like your personal bank account. And you could tell everybody you're a trillionaire because you're just pulling out money out of the market. You're treating that money as if it's yours.
Yeah.
We'll get there slowly but surely. The only way we'll get there is if you share your trades, come in here, share your issues. Any issues that you come here, we're here to freaking talk it out and help you through whatever you're struggling with. Yeah, anybody want to share their trades? Anybody? Are you done, Lasagna Cat?
Yeah, that's all I got for today. That's all on my slides. And I'll have more, next week. I'm always doing my recap.
All good, all good. It's yeah, just to let people know, we will be taking another week off of Finding Your Way, and then we're gonna kick that off with the third season. Hopefully we continue this ball rolling and keep creating. Who's up next? I've talked to a couple of members. I know there's Luna the Cat. He's a brand new member to BRT. We're gonna help him start off fresh, and that's my challenge:
Sounds
is
good, man.
start off fresh. Um, Start off fresh with the strategy, help him all the way through. Then we're gonna help. We're also gonna help Dell. Dell's gonna come in here. He's been a struggling member. He's been here for a while. He's still not consistent. We're gonna help him along the way. And the third person is Kelsey. Kelsey's
Oh,
been here for a while doing standard dev, and they each have a different strategy. That's what I love about it. So far we've had long player Lasagna Cat, short player Easy, and now we have a standard dev strategy, uh, a brand new member that doesn't really have a strategy from what I can gather. And then we have Dell, who has said who would be using the fair value gap strategy. Uh, so the plan is maybe have break it up into, because I know the meetings go kind of long, so maybe break it up into 3 hours. I don't know. We'll have to schedule something out, and we're gonna help three people, three members out. And just because we're helping those three specific members, if you're using one of their three strategies, follow along, man. Share your trades. Come in here and share your trades. It doesn't matter just because we're helping them out. Doesn't mean you can't come in and share your trades and we can help you out as well. So yeah, man, we're gonna help you, Kelsey. So congrats to those three, and maybe we'll have a fourth if he decides to join. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe Whiplash will join and have four. I just want to make this like a little powwow where everybody's helping everybody. Kelsey, maybe along the way he's gonna provide some insightful information for Luna the Cat or Dell, and vice versa. They're all gonna help each other. Um, but yeah, that's the goal. And then hopefully by the end of the year they'll be consistent and keep the ball rolling into next year. Uh, so yeah. So congrats, Dell, Kelsey, and Luna. We're gonna get this ball rolling. So those that haven't really been here around, go look at the first 15 to 20 videos. Look up the elite fundamentals. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I'll point you in the right direction or send you a video link so you can so I can answer your question partially, and then you watch that video, and then you come back with more questions, and then I can help you along the way, especially for Luna because I know he doesn't really have a strategy. Is okay.
yeah, very, very new. So basically looking entries, how to use the Feb, how to everything.
No,
Yeah,
definitely, that's awesome, man.
it's good.
And where you're gonna be attracted to something, and that's where we're gonna help you. Like, okay, are you gonna be to a moving average, fibs, or standard dev? There's a bunch of tools here at BRT that will help you be consistent, and we're gonna be like trying to teach you or trying to help you along the way. Okay, I like the fibs. I use them all, and the fibs is what helped me correct my stops, my entries, and my targets. Once I got used to that, I used the moving average system in conjunction with the fibs because, like I say, when the levels line up, and they will, the standard dev will line up with Connor's standard dev will line up with Brandon's elite fib levels or moving average levels or daily, weekly trend level. They all line up. Even the fair value gap. The fair value gap is not part of VRT, but they do line up with the moving averages, fib levels, all that. They all line up. They will all line up. Even price action zones or whatever they call them, right? They all line up. It's just what helps you look at the chart the best way. That's all it is. And
Yeah.
people will be traders will be attracted to different systems.
And I want to say congratulations to Adele, Kelsey, and Luna the cat, because I'm gonna learn your strategies along with you. So I'm excited for you guys because it's really helped me a lot. And you guys are gonna help me a lot as well because I'm gonna learn your stuff while you go through it. We're all gonna help each other out.
Yep, and we're gonna learn it that much the better. Like with Lasagna Cat, my game got a little bit better. We're both long players and all that. Um, so then Easy came in and he was a short player even though he didn't know it. So that's also another thing we're gonna help you with is, are you a short player or are you a long player? You might think you're both, but you're not. It's just like any person, right? You're gonna have a dominant eye, whether it's your left eye or your right eye. One eye is gonna be dominant whether you think so or not. Same thing. Are you a right-handed? You might think you can use both left and the right, but you like to use the right a little bit more than the left, or vice versa. We're gonna help you figure that out. But yeah, so we'll get it started here in 2 weeks. In the meantime, keep up the study work, keep paper trading. I wouldn't risk money until you're consistent. And I know Kelsey, he's getting itchy, getting getting that itchy finger to live trade, but I highly recommend that you at least wait maybe 6 weeks. By then you'll have at least a strategy and a setup and some rules around it. Because the biggest thing is following your rules. If you don't have no rules around your setup, you might as well just throw everything out the door because you're gonna make dumb mistakes, whether you like it or not. Odell, what you typing, bud? Yeah, I know it gets hard because you want to make money, but patience will pay off. It's like I told Easy, patience pays off. That's the hardest thing about trading is being patient. Patient, patient, patient. Waiting for your setup. Uh, waiting for that setup to set up, right? Look at you. Yeah, on a good setup. That's awesome, dude. Let's keep it going. Now, write rules around that setup and bring them in here in 2 weeks, and we'll help you make it that much better, more consistent, so you can trade that all the time, and you'll be good. Ooh, somebody got a pink shot.